If you truly want to understand meditation, sit quietly with me for just a moment. Don't do anything, don't try anything, just sit. Notice what happens. Within about 4 seconds, something moves. A thought, a sound, an itch, a memory you didn't ask for, something from last week, something from 10 years ago, something that hasn't even happened yet. Your mind did what minds do. It left. And if you're like most people, the next thing that happened was this. I can't meditate. But here's the thing. That noticing, the moment you realized the mind had wandered, that was meditation. Not a failed attempt at it. That was it. That was the whole thing. You've been meditating wrong your entire life, or rather, you've been meditating perfectly and calling it failure. We have a very specific image of what meditation looks like. Someone sitting in perfect stillness, mind completely silent, no thoughts, no feelings, no fidgeting, just this serene, glowing, untouchable presence, floating somewhere above ordinary human experience. And that image is doing enormous damage, because if that's what meditation is supposed to look like, then almost nobody will ever succeed at it, and almost nobody who starts will ever continue. Because that's not what meditation is. That's not even what most skilled meditators experience. Even after decades of practice, thoughts still come, the mind still moves, life still makes itself felt. The image of a perfectly still, perfectly silent meditator is a myth, a postcard, and chasing it is like trying to stop the weather. Meditation is not a state you reach, it's a movement you practice, specifically this movement. The mind wanders, you notice, you return. That's it. That's the entire practice. Not the stillness at the center, not the moment of perfect focus, not the wave of peace that sometimes arrives like a guest you weren't expecting. The practice is the noticing and then the return. Every single time your mind goes somewhere else and you realize it's gone somewhere else and you gently bring it back, that is one complete unit of meditation. That's the whole practice, repeated not until you get it right, until you stop needing it to be different. And in meditation, what changes is not the mind, what changes is your relationship to it. You stop being completely at its mercy. Here's something strange. Most of the time we don't experience thoughts as things happening. We experience them as us. A thought appears, I'm stressed, and immediately without any gap, without any choice, you become stressed. You don't decide to. You didn't even notice the thought had arrived. You just suddenly were stressed. A thought appears, I can't do this, and without any gap, you are someone who can't do this. The thought happens so fast, so seamlessly, that there's no space between the thought appearing and you becoming it. Meditation creates that space, just a little hairline crack. A thought appears, and for one moment, one tiny moment, you see it. There's a thought that says, I can't do this, and in that gap, something extraordinary has happened. You are not the thought. You are the one aware of the thought. The thought is the weather, and you are the sky. That's not just a metaphor, that's a direct description of what you start to actually realize when you practice noticing. One of the most beautiful ironies of meditation is that the thought, "I can't meditate," can appear while you're meditating. People believe it completely. They sit there fully aware, watching their mind, and the mind produces a thought that says this isn't working, so they stop. But that thought is just another thought. It has no more authority than the thought about the bill you forgot to pay, or the memory of something embarrassing, or the sudden craving for junk food. "I can't meditate" is a thought, and you just noticed it, which means you're meditating. You don't have to argue with the thought. You don't have to believe the thought. You don't have to fix the thought. You just notice it. Oh, there's the thought that says I can't do this. And then you come back. I want to tell you something that goes deeper than technique. We live inside a civilization that is structurally allergic to stillness. And that's no accident, it's by design. Every surface of modern life is engineered to keep your attention moving, faster, louder, more urgent, more stimulating. Always another thing to look at, always another thing to fix, and always another thing to become. And underneath all of that noise is a very simple message, repeated in 1,000 obvious and subtle ways. What you are, right now, is not enough. Keep moving, keep producing, keep improving, keep becoming. Rest has to be earned. Stillness is laziness. Time only counts if something measurable comes out of it. Your worth is what you produce. You have absorbed all of this. We all have. Which is why when you sit down to meditate, something in you resists it almost immediately. This is a waste of time. You should be doing something. You could be productive right now. You could be getting better. You could be making progress. That resistance is not a personal failing. That's just civilization talking. That is 10,000 years of anxiety about survival, status, and usefulness sitting in your nervous system telling you that just being is dangerous. Meditation is the practice of sitting with that voice and choosing not to obey it. Not fighting it, not trying to silence it, just seeing it for what it is, another thought, another piece of weather, and coming back to the breath anyway. That is a quiet rebellion, one of the quietest and most radical acts available to a human being. Sitting still, doing nothing, being here, for no reason at all, producing nothing, becoming nothing, and discovering that that is enough. Now I have to warn you about something, because when you practice long enough, something will happen. A wave of peace will arrive, or a sudden spacious stillness, or a moment where the ordinary strangeness of existence just opens up underneath you, and you think this is what it's for. And the mind immediately will say, get more of that. And in that moment, meditation becomes shopping. You're no longer sitting with what is, you're hunting for what was, trying to recreate an experience, trying to manufacture a state, trying to get back to something that only came because you weren't trying to get to it. This is the trap. Not just the wandering, the sleepiness, or the frustration. The trap is also the beautiful moment. Because the mind loves collecting, It turns everything into trophies, even transcendence, especially transcendence. And the moment you start chasing peace, peace becomes one more thing you don't have. So when the beautiful moment comes, notice it, let it flow through you, and then come back. Let it be weather too, extraordinary weather, like a beautiful thunderstorm, but still weather. The sky doesn't chase the sun. So, what is the point? If you're not chasing peace, if you're not trying to reach some special state, if every experience is just something to notice and return from, what actually changes? Well, you stop being so afraid of the present moment. That's it. That's the whole transformation. Right now, for most people, the present moment is something to escape, to improve, to get past, or to survive. We are always somewhere else, planning the future, regretting the past, managing an image, preparing for a conversation, or replaying a conversation. We're here, but not here. We're in the room, but in our heads. And meditation, very slowly, with enormous patience, teaches you that it's safe to be where you are. Even if where you are isn't pleasant, even if it's painful, the present moment is still the only place you've ever actually been. Everything you've ever experienced, you experienced now. Every moment of joy, grief, love, loss, it happened in the present. The future where everything will be okay is a thought happening now. The past you keep returning to is a thought happening now. Now is not a waiting room. Now is it. And when you stop treating it like something to escape, existence softens. And that doesn't mean life becomes perfect. It just means you stop adding the suffering of not being here to whatever already is. So here's what you actually do. You sit, you choose something to pay attention to, your breath, a sound, the feeling of the body sitting, something simple, something real, something here. You rest your attention there. The mind wanders, it will. That's not a malfunction, that's a mind. When you notice it's wandered, and you will notice eventually, because that's what awareness does, you come back, gently, without drama, without self-punishment, without the inner voice that says, you useless, distracted failure. Just, oh, and back. Some days it feels like trying to grab smoke. Some days the mind produces so much noise, you spend the entire session just noticing and returning, never getting more than 3 seconds of quiet. Those sessions are not failures. Those are the most honest sessions. Those are the sessions where you are doing exactly what the practice asks. And some days, not always, not on command, not because you earned it, something goes quiet, the mind settles, there's a sense of space, a breath that feels like the first breath. You'll want to hold it, but don't. Just notice and just come back. You are not bad at meditation. You have never failed meditation. You've been meditating every time you noticed where your mind went. Every time something in you woke up and said, oh, I drifted. Every time you came back, even once, even for a moment. That was the practice. The practice was always already happening. All we're doing here is making it conscious, making it intentional, choosing to do it on purpose instead of only by accident. Sit down, Choose something to rest on. Watch the mind do what minds do. Notice and return. That's it. It won't make you special. It won't make you enlightened. It won't magically fix everything. But this moment, this ordinary, unremarkable, vanishing moment, is the only place life has ever really happened. And you might as well be here for it. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, keep dreaming.